Today we are talking about asking questions in tech sales interviews. If you want to land high-paying sales roles, you need to start asking better questions. But here's the thing, I'm not just going to give you a list of 10 best questions to ask because that is not what you need. What you need is to understand what actually makes a good question and then the tactics to go and apply these to your own interviews. So in this video, I'm going to share my top 3 strategies for asking better questions in tech sales interviews. And if you implement these, I guarantee that you will convert more of your interviews into job offers. If you don't know me, I'm Cam Wright, and I know these strategies work because I'm an account executive at a VC-backed SaaS company. I've landed several job offers at the top companies in tech, and I've also interviewed dozens of candidates and know the types of questions that lead to successful interviews. These are the secrets behind all great questions, so let's dive in. All right, so the first rule is to ask questions at your interviewer's job level. The thing to remember about interviews is each person that is interviewing you has a different job at the company, right? So they all know and care about different things. Now you have 2 goals with each question you ask: to learn about the company while also building your value as a candidate. Now, a crucial sales skill is the ability to ask questions that get your buyers to open up and share. And so every time that you ask your interviewer a relevant, thought-provoking question, they will see you as a better candidate. How do you do that? Well, you do this by tailoring your questions to your interviewer's role and experience. Let's walk through the 4 interviewer personas that you'll see. Recruiter. So recruiters are responsible for the initial candidate sourcing and then own the logistics of the hiring process. So your question should be about things like the company, the salary and pay, and the interview process itself. The second persona is sales reps. So these are current SDRs and AEs at the company. Now, the best questions for these people are about the role, getting into the specifics on responsibilities and really what's led to their success. And you'll get brownie points if you give these people a chance to brag in front of their manager. Now, the third persona is the hiring manager. So this is the direct manager of the open role. So there is a wide range of topics that you can discuss. Some of my favorites are about the team, their management style, territory you'll be working, and the coaching and training that they will provide you. Finally is sales leadership. So these are leaders that are 2 levels of management or more above the role you're interviewing for. So the best questions are high level things like the company strategy, the sales execution, and things like the market opportunities and risks that they see. Now, to illustrate this, let's run through a quick example. So if you were interviewing with a VP of sales, a bad question would be, what type of ongoing coaching and training is provided? Now, this might be an okay question for a hiring manager, but it doesn't align with the VP of sales responsibilities. So you'll probably receive a short answer and probably miss the opportunity to start a discussion. Now, a better question for a VP of sales would be, saw you recently joined from MongoDB, which I know has a strong sales playbook. What's your opinion on the company's sales execution today, and what are you trying to improve? Now, this is better because it brings up something that this VP of sales is probably thinking about daily, right? They'll appreciate the question, they'll be excited to share their opinion, and it'll probably spark conversation, which gives you the opportunity to go and start to build a relationship with this person. All right, now rule number 2 is asking questions based on company and industry research. It's no surprise that today's tech sales job market is really competitive, and so hiring teams are looking for people that have the relevant industry experience. But the thing is, they don't actually care about the experience. They care about the skills and knowledge that you would have got from that experience to ensure that you can come and hit the ground running. So it's crucial that you find a way to show your product and industry knowledge throughout the interview process. And my favorite way to do this is by asking something called context-led questions that highlight your understanding of the product and industry. But this has to be done the right way, or it can seem forced or unnatural. So I recommend using this framework: insight plus relevance followed by the question. This way, your knowledge becomes the reason that you're asking the question. So let's say I was interviewing for Grafana Labs. Here's an example of a question. I saw Grafana recently launched incident response and synthetic monitoring. Now, it seems like this could help expand existing customers, but I wasn't sure if the intent here is to also increase the number of ways that reps can go and land new logos. What's the primary strategy with these new releases? So this question shows that I understand the industry, the company, the sales process, and really that I get it. So it builds confidence that I'll be able to come in and hit the ground running. And the final rule is to ask questions that qualify the company and the interviewer. Now, in tech sales, the company that you work for has a huge impact on your career and earnings. And so candidates should be vetting companies just as much, if not more, than companies are vetting candidates. And hiring teams know this, and so interviews in tech sales can become a bit of a status game at times. So if you don't vet the company at all, or it seems like you really need a new job, you're likely going to lower your perceived value as a candidate and actually reduce the odds that you get the job. On the other hand, if you ask questions that qualify the company and the interviewer, this raises your status because it shows that you know your worth and you're not just willing to settle for any job. Now, the trick here is to ask these qualifying questions without sounding arrogant. And the best way to do this is to just highlight something that's important to you as a seller and then just simply follow up with a question about how the company could support whatever that thing is. So for me personally, coaching and development is important because I'm always trying to get better and eventually want to move into a leadership role. So I've asked this question a few times in interviews. Mr. Interviewer, I want to move into leadership eventually, and so development is really important to me. What kinds of ongoing coaching, deal support, and training does the company provide? Now, this raises my value as a candidate because it shows that I care about my development and I want to make sure that the company is going to support me and I'm not just going to take any job offer. All right, so as you can tell, a lot of interview strategy is a balancing act between selling yourself, building relationships, and then making sure that you actually vet the company to keep your status elevated. But there are also dozens of other tips that I did not cover in this video. Now, I've spent years doing this, and what you need is practice, but then also guidance from someone who's had the actual experience. And this is something that I help people with all the time. Now, if you're trying to land a role in tech sales, whether you're trying to break into the industry as an SDR, whether you're an SDR today trying to get that AE role, or even if you're already an AE and you just want to lateral into a better company, I recommend you check out my free job search email playbook that I've linked below. It's going to help you land a bunch of interviews, even if you don't meet the requirements on paper, and it's going to help you accelerate your search. So check that out and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.